You know, when you're looking at your deck, your outdoor space, have you ever just felt totally lost?
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about railings, of all things, wood, vinyl, composite, steel. It's like suddenly there's just so much information, so much advice.
It's overwhelming. Absolutely.
And you're left wondering, am I making the right call for the long haul?
Exactly.
Well, today, we're going deep on something that's been kind of quietly changing the game for outdoor spaces. We're talking about the surprising rise and the real benefits of aluminum railings for decks. We're digging into a great source for this, an article from RainCity Decks. It really gets into the style, the safety, the practical side of things.
Right. And our mission really is to cut through all that noise.
Yeah.
We want to pull out the most important stuff, the key insights, maybe even some surprising facts about aluminum railings.
Okay.
So you can understand not just what they are, but really why they're becoming such a popular choice. Especially, in tough climates like we have here in coastal British Columbia. Durability isn't just nice to have here, it's essential.
Okay. Let's jump right in then. The article kicks off with a pretty bold claim. It says aluminum railings are the smartest choice for homeowners in BC.
It does.
That's saying a lot considering the alternatives. So what makes aluminum the smartest choice right off the bat? What's the secret?
Well, I think what's really interesting is how aluminum directly tackles the big problems homeowners face.
Yeah.
Especially somewhere wet, like the lower mainland.
Right.
Think about wood. It rots, it warps, it splinters eventually, right? Especially with constant rain.
Definitely.
And steel, okay, it's strong, but it can rust and corrode if you don't stay on top of the maintenance.
Yeah.
Aluminum, though, it naturally forms this protective oxide layer. It inherently fights off corrosion and rust, so it stands up incredibly well to rain, fluctuating temperatures, much better than the others, and without needing you to constantly tend to it.
Ah, okay. So it's not just marginally better. It's like it reacts differently to the weather entirely. That sounds like a genuine set it and forget it material, which honestly, that's music to my ears, probably to any homeowner who's dealt with deck upkeep. The article really pushes this low maintenance, high reward idea. What does that really mean day to day? Are we just talking a quick hose down, or can you literally forget about them?
Yeah, it's pretty close to that. It really means skipping the yearly sanding, staining, painting, sealing, all that stuff.
Okay.
Instead of losing a weekend every spring to railing maintenance, which, let's face it, nobody loves.
No.
It's usually just a simple wipe down with soap and water now and then to keep them looking good.
Yeah.
And the high reward, it's not just the time you save. It's that they keep looking good without the effort. You know your investment isn't degrading year after year. Plus, aluminum's pretty strong for how light it is. That lets you get these really sleek modern designs that might look bulky if you tried them with wood or traditional steel.
That's a huge plus. Okay, so aesthetics, low maintenance, but then there's safety. Obviously super important, especially if you've got kids, pets, or maybe an elevated deck.
Absolutely critical.
What makes these aluminum railings so safe? Are they really strong enough?
Yeah, safety is absolutely paramount.
Yeah.
And the engineering behind these systems is quite impressive. The source points out they're built to meet or exceed local safety codes. That includes the tough Canadian building codes.
Okay.
So they're designed to handle real forces, someone leaning heavily, strong winds, that kind of thing. They provide really solid support.
Right.
And the finish, that powder coating, it's smooth and durable, no splinters like wood, safer for little hands or pets leaning against it. If you're on a high lot or a balcony, that strong anchoring and structure, it really does give you invaluable peace of mind.
That totally makes sense. Now, the article mentions the significant rise in popularity, especially in the lower mainland. We've talked about how they handle the climate, but what else is driving this? Was there like a shift in the market? Did they get cheaper? Or maybe a new design trend just took off?
It's a good question. It's not just the material itself. It's also about what homeowners are looking for now and how the market's responded.
Okay.
People increasingly want solutions that are genuinely durable and low maintenance, not just for a couple of years, but for, decades.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the technology has improved too. Those powder coatings we've talked about, they're much more advanced now, much more weather resistant. They're applied electrostatically, then heat cured. It makes a harder, more uniform finish than old school liquid paint, resists fading, chipping much longer. Combine that with more efficient manufacturing and installation. And yeah, they've become a more accessible and appealing option for more projects. That's definitely fueled the trend.
Okay, so it's not just the immediate stuff. It's really about clear long-term value. It sounds like an investment that actually pays off down the road.
Precisely. Putting in aluminum railings genuinely adds to your property value. It gives you that lasting curb appeal that doesn't fade or look tired after a few years.
Right.
It's an upgrade that works and looks good for a long, long time. Homeowners want that set it and forget it promise, and aluminum really delivers. That's why you see it on homes, but also more and more on commercial buildings too.
And the article really highlights that they are built for BC's wet coastal climate. Can you give us a bit more detail on that? What specifically makes them such a good fit for all this rain?
Yeah, for BC's rain, this is where aluminum really proves its worth. Practically speaking, you have zero risk of rot, peeling, cracking, the stuff that drives you crazy with wood. Those advanced powder coatings are specifically made to handle constant moisture and UV rays without fading or chipping away.
Okay.
So they keep their structural strength and their looks, even when they're damp all the time. And, thinking bigger picture, sustainability. If you're not replacing them constantly, that means less waste going to the landfill, a smaller environmental footprint over the life of the railing.
That's a great point. Okay, so if we boil it all down, durability, low maintenance, climate proofing, what are the absolute top benefits, maybe even some surprising ones that someone listening should really take away?
Okay, the distilled version. Top benefits. First, amazing resistance to rust, corrosion, UV. They just don't break down easily, especially in tough weather.
Right.
Second, genuinely low maintenance. Gives you your time back.
Huge.
Third, a really long lifespan without looking worn out. Fourth, super safe meets or exceeds BC building codes. Fifth, incredibly customizable. Lots of choices for color, style, finish. You can get a modern personal look. Sixth, surprisingly eco-friendly. They're 100% recyclable. The powder coating is solvent-free, and you use fewer chemicals for upkeep compared to treated wood. And maybe the surprising one, because they're lightweight, installation can actually be faster and potentially more budget-friendly than you might think for some heavier materials. That affects your total project cost.
That is quite a list. And you mentioned customization, but the article also talks about mix and match options. That sounds like even more design freedom.
It really does open things up.
Is it truly like a blank slate, or are there limits?
It's much more of a blank slate than you might expect. They look great with pretty much any modern decking composite like Trex, vinyl decking, you name it.
Okay.
You can pair them with clear glass panels for totally open views, or classic pickets, or even those composite materials that look like wood, but, without the hassle.
Oh, right.
So homeowners get huge design freedom. And for contractors, it makes installation simpler and quicker, which helps keep the whole deck project moving efficiently.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. We've talked about options, but how much real freedom does someone have with customization? Can you actually create something totally unique, or is it more like picking from column A and column B?
No, you're definitely not just picking from presets. The customization goes really deep, letting you get something genuinely unique.
Oh.
You've got standard colors, black, white, bronze are popular, but you can also get custom powder coats to match your house trim exactly, or just a specific color you love.
Nice.
Then the infill glass pickets, sure. But you could also do privacy screens for part of the deck. The top rail can be flat and modern or curved or have a more decorative architectural profile. And because it's an engineered system, they can make it to fit any deck shape perfectly, even complex ones. Plus, you can add things like integrated gates, subtle lighting built in, even carry the look over to aluminum fencing for the whole property. Really ties it all together.
That's impressive. You keep saying engineered system. Could you unpack that a bit? What makes it a system rather than just, posts and rails you buy? Is it like a kit?
It's more than just parts.
Yeah. Think of it as an integrated structure designed for performance.
Okay.
Every piece, the posts, the infills, the top rails, how they connect, it's all designed to work together. To distribute weight and stress properly to meet those high safety standards we talked about.
Like how the posts are anchored or how the panels lock in. They use specific aluminum alloys and connection methods to get that strength, even though the material is light. And because it's modular, installation is usually easier, and you could potentially modify it or add sections later if you needed to. It's adaptable. Okay,
so clearly great for homeowners. What about bigger projects, multi-unit buildings, commercial properties? Is it a good fit there too? For developers, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. Aluminum railings are actually a fantastic choice for multi-unit buildings and commercial spaces.
Really? Why is that?
Well, property managers and developers often love them. Think about it. Installation is faster and simpler across many units, which saves time and money.
Makes sense.
They automatically meet strict safety codes and strata rules usually without needing special adjustments. The low maintenance is huge for operating costs and keeping tenants happy.
Right, less work for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, you get this clean, uniform, durable look across the whole property, boosts curb appeal, helps attract and keep residents or clients, and you can integrate them with things like security systems or lighting pretty easily too. Very versatile for larger scale stuff.
Okay, near the end, the source asks two very direct questions. Is aluminum good for deck railing? And are aluminum railings safe? Based on everything, how would you answer those? Just bottom line.
Okay, bottom line, yes. Aluminum isn't just good, it's arguably one of the best choices, especially in climates like ours.
Right.
Because it resists rust, corrosion, UV damage.
Yep.
It won't warp or crack or need constant painting like wood or iron often do. You get durability with almost no upkeep, smart investment.
And safety.
Yes, absolutely safe. They're rigorously engineered to meet and often beat all the local building safety codes. They can handle pressure, weather stresses. Plus, many systems offer options like child-safe gate locks or using tempered glass panels. So, yes, you get real peace of mind. They're built for looks and security.
So, for you listening, the core message seems really clear. Aluminum railings offer this powerful mix. They're durable, safe, incredibly low maintenance, and look great. Very flexible aesthetically. It makes them a genuinely smart, long-term bet for your outdoor space, especially if you're dealing with challenging weather.
Yeah, and if you connect that to the bigger picture, the way we choose materials for our homes now, it's more and more about balancing that immediate benefit with, the long-term environmental impact and how much work we're willing to put in over time.
Right.
Aluminum really seems to have a sweet spot there.
So what does all this mean for you? Maybe think about how changing your approach to materials for something seemingly small like railings could actually have a big impact. On your weekends, sure, but also on your home's value, maybe even your environmental footprint. Does hearing this maybe shift how you think about other parts of your home? Those other set and forget elements that might be due for a smarter upgrade? Something to